folks. Welcome to another episode of Tuesday Night Talks, brought to you by Des Moines New Age Hub, as well as Des Moines New Age Radio, our Spotify channel. I'm Alicia, and I am your host tonight. Now, Antoinette from Spiral Healing Energies, our energy worker, house clearer, home blesser, Reiki worker, all around awesome stuff. She wanted to be here tonight, but she's actually doing another house clearing, and those have to take top priority. So she did give me a few notes to mention on the program. I'm going to tell her she's got to be on here eventually, otherwise people are going to think I'm making her up. However, she will be at our psychic fair, our 13th anniversary psychic fair this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. So she's going to be awesome. She's going to be offering her stuff there, along with a couple of other people, our psychic medium, and then hopefully we'll have Angel in, health permitting, as well as Kasumi. And she is, Zizer is a tarot reader. Been doing it for a long time, just kind of feeling out and stepping into the profession of it. We may have an astrologer there. I am not sure she's going to try and make it though. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to try and have a spirit gallery and a message circle and a Reiki blessing at least. So fun stuff. But I digress. This Tuesday night talk is going to be about programming, intenting, charming, imbuing, talismans, crystals, amulets, whatever you want to call them, whatever vernacular you use, it is all the exact same idea. So basically what you're doing is you're taking an object and focusing your will on it, putting in a chunk of your energy, and you can use any kind of ritual stuff you like. That's completely up to you. But you're pouring in a chunk of your energy with the intended focus of giving it a single job. And you only want to do one per item, because you don't want to confuse it. Keep it very, 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 very simple. If you have to write it down, no more than 6 words, one purpose. So it would be, if you wanted to do a protection talisman, protection amulet, something like that, a protection crystal. You take the crystal, and the thing is, with all this stuff, remember, emotion equals energy in this kind of work. What I like to do is I like to take myself back to kind of a really happy memory, but a really strong emotional one for me. And then I hold it and I focus in really hard. Now, different people do this different ways. This is just something that actually Antoinette told me how to use. And and I apologize, guys. Whew. I'm really scratchy today. Anyways, so this is actually a method she taught me to use. Before I was using more up here than in here. And up here is great for your everyday life, but when you're doing mystical work, magical work, energy work, any of it, it needs to come from here. That's where you're going to get all your charge. Think of it like the battery. That's where you're going to get all that charge from. That's where you're going to get your results. Now, different people do this different ways. You can use ceremonial oils, you can use sigils, you can do a lot of different stuff. I mean, you can do them by the phases of the moon, planetary alignments, you can use herbs, you can use crystals to charge your stuff. I mean, you can charge literally anything. You can charge a pair of sunglasses, earrings, a ring, a watch, a necklace. A lot of people like to do a necklace because it hangs right here. But when you are working with crystals, and in the shop, you will hear me say program a crystal a lot. And people are like, what? But when you really think about it, it is the best way to explain it, because you are literally writing into that crystal what you want it to do. Now, I always say, when you're picking up a crystal or any other object, ask if it's willing to help. It's going to sound crazy, but it is the truth. Because you want to make sure you actually have the thing's cooperation. That energy needs to flow, and you need to actually bond with it. So even before you even buy the crystal, before you pick it up, hold it and say, hey, this is what I need from you. Are you willing to help? Because, I mean, let's be honest, you wouldn't want some rando stranger coming up to you on the street and going, well, I bought you, so now you need to help me with this forever. You'd be like, hell no. Goodbye. You're crazy. And much the same way as any pendulum, any tools, anything else, what you are using needs to have the same energy. And I will tell you, all crystals have a certain thing, a certain energy, a certain purpose, but you always get that random one that's like, oh, you know what? I like that. That sounds good. Let's go do that over here. Okay. But for most working, I always say use a clear quartz crystal, simply because clear quartz is your most basic stone. It's the most malleable. It's the easiest to work with. It's kind of a blank slate, but it's also an amplifier stone. So what that means is it will charge up and make stronger any stones around it. If you're gonna use a talisman, use a clear quartz. Well, if you want to use a stone one. Now, some people, they will ask their deities to actually come and bless them and infuse them with what they need. Always remember, when you're working with deity, spirit, I do not recommend elementals, but if you really want to go that route, with them you need to be extra careful, because it's always an exchange. You always have to offer them something. And the thing is, you have to make sure whatever they want, deity, elemental, anything else, whatever they want, you can and are willing to part with to them. So just, make sure any deity, any elemental, any spirit, any ancestor, anything, before you begin to work with it, before you go to it for aid, you have to thoroughly research it. Never ignore the bad parts of something for the good. You get into a lot of trouble. So just make sure you actually want this, whatever this is, energy in your life, in your home, around your family, in your business. You have to make sure that it is right for you and that you can deal with all of the aspects of this deity, spirit, ancestor, elemental, angel, guide, what have you, even totem creature. Now, you may wonder why I'm actually doing a talk on this. I get this question a lot in the shop, believe it or not. And rather than just saying it over and over and over, I want to put it down for posterity. So I'm done with an article. I've just got to do some editing on it. Oh, who am I kidding? My husband's going to do the editing. I suck with grammar. My spelling's great, but my grammar, no, not so much. Good thing he's a grammar Nazi and a Gemini. But I've got an article, and I will post it up on my blog over the weekend. My haunting types article is probably going to come today or tomorrow. God, I tell you what, poison ivy, infection, allergic to antibiotics, it's just taking its toll, it's kind of kicking my ass. But nice thing is, the anti-itch medication I'm now on makes me sleep like a baby. Not one that wakes up every night, but the really good sleep. Anyway, but I digress. And it's been one of those days, so I'm going to be all over the place, guys. Sorry about that. I promise I will try not to take up too much of your time on this. Simply because I don't want to talk for that long anyway. Haha. Oh, why do you guys think I bring on guests? That way they can do all the talking. I just get my point across, and then I take questions. Okay. Let's see. And I did make notes. Okay. And always remember, when you're doing this stuff, you want to phrase it properly. Keep it simple. Be direct. Don't waver. Here we go. Now, if you do decide to work with different crystals, I pulled up some examples. So for protection, I would say get like a black obsidian, charge that up. You could use specular hematite due to its transmutational energy. Specular hematite is really good for transmuting either negative to positive or positive to negative, but it changes that energy out. So that would be really neat to work with, potentially as a protection amulet. Let's see. You could also use black moonstone as an amulet against psychic attack. Now, scolecite, especially white scolecite, is really good for sleep protection. So if you're prone to nightmares, things like that, that's going to be perfect for that. Stress relief would be hematite. Self-love, joy of self, emotional healing, deep emotional wound healing would be deep pink calcite, rose quartz, stuff like that. Now, I will tell you, little thing, if you can get your hands on a good chunk of amber, it's already got that joy of life energy, but you can actually charm it to bring you back from a lot of really bad mental states, bad emotional states. It's already a joy of life stone. It's already got a lot of weight to it. It's very, very old when you get that heavy amber. And you can use copal too. It's a little bit younger, but not by much. But when you wear that amber and you have it intended and charmed to actually bring you back to a place of joy and happiness in your life, you would be amazed. I did it with one of my rings. I picked up the ring in Mount Shasta. I couldn't let it go. It's a big amber ring. I've got to tighten the setting on it. Otherwise, I'd be wearing it tonight so I could show you guys. And oh my God, that thing made a huge difference in my life. I was in a really weird place. It's very torn in directions and stuff, but man, charm that ring up, put it on. Well, I put it on and then later on I charmed it up. And wow, I wore that thing almost every day for damn near a year. And it put me right back on track, you know? And the thing, and that's the other thing. When you're wearing these amulets, these or protection, luck, what have you, when you're wearing them, always make sure to keep charging them up with that positive energy. You want layers and layers and layers building on it. So as when you're not feeling so good, when you're a little bit down, anything like that, it's still working. It's kind of that almost like a kinetic energy receptacle. I'm going to go back to my favorite series of books, Jim Butcher's Dresden Files. The main character, Harry Dresden, he is a wizard PI in Chicago, and as probably most of you know, but he wears a shield bracelet. And what he has it charmed to every time he moves, store kinetic energy. That way, when he goes to push something, it'll make the force a bit stronger, things like that. Now, that's obviously a fantastical example, but it's kind of what we're going for. So you charm it so as every time you're happy, and you can do this, every time you're happy, it stores it. It stores it. It stores that positive energy. That way, when you are having a problem, when you are having a bad day, when you're having a down day, you'll get that extra burst. Another example of this. A friend of mine, her ex-boyfriend, he didn't believe in the crystals or the stones at all until as a joke, he was in a really bad mood one show and for legitimate reasons, he wasn't just being a dick, but he had legitimate reasons. And I made the joke in front of a bunch of customers. I grabbed a white selenite palm stone and went, and see, look, it's just like soap. It even washes off a bad mood. And I started circling it in front of him in a washing motion. And sure enough, his mood faded away. It actually just dripped right off him. And he's like, oh my God, I feel better. What happened? I just handed it to the seller. I'm like, hey, dude, cool. And of course, they bought palm stones because they could see it worked. And after that, he would always have my friend come and get a new palm stone because the thing is, he kept popping them apart in half. Not because he was doing anything mean or being rough or anything like that, but the guy had so much ambient energy, he would literally split the selenites in half. And I kept quizzing her. I'm like, what is he doing? What's going on? And she would always tell me he's not doing anything. Finally, one day I grabbed hold of one and holy cow, it was like touching a live wire. The guy had unwittingly charged up all of his selenites with this energy. So I just started trading her back and forth because I was keeping this stuff to charge up. I was a new mother. I was tired, but bit of that, I was up, I was awake, I was moving, at least for a little while. So anyway, I digress yet again. For a luck or abundance amulet, I would definitely say a citrine would be best. It's got a real good positive charge. It's already got your wealth aspect, and it really boosts self-esteem too. But the other one that I love, especially for money matters, now you can also do this with a malachite. So malachite is really good for wealth if you're just looking for wealth. But if you want abundance, see, abundance is not just money. Abundance is, oh my God, my transmission's going out of my car. I have this weird urge to buy my neighbor a bagel. And your neighbor's like, oh yeah, no, I can fix that for a 6-pack. So instead of having to buy a new transmission, your neighbor's going to fix it for a 6-pack. That is true luck and abundance. So you got wealth and you got abundance. Of the two, I prefer abundance. Makes things go a lot better in life. So citrine, aventurine, green aventurine, or malachite will help with luck, wealth, stuff like that. Now, I know I'm going to get this question. Amethyst, sometimes satellite, sometimes lapis, although lapis is more of a mind stone almost strictly. It can get you to some of those higher planes, but it's a really good mind stone. But amethyst, satellite, they're really good if you want to charge an amulet for calming down an overactive mind, one that just is intensely overactive, almost debilitatingly overactive. You can also do... Yes, hon? What up?
Hi.
Hi, babe.
Just keep going.
Okay.
Don't mind me.
I like
I was going to say it kind of smells like hippies over here, but
it smells like roses.
listen.
Okay, whatever. I didn't light up the patchouli, which is my favorite.
I noticed how it's interesting. Your sunglasses are also being cut out by the green screen.
Nice, right? Anyway, amethyst, sometimes satellite, for a talisman to kind of quell anxiety and increase focus, but also it can enhance psychic ability, especially amethyst. It also does really good with dream recall and stuff like that. So, by the way, amethyst is not a protective stone. It is strictly for getting your sensitivity up, connecting you up with that higher force, and quelling out anxiety and things like that. And dream work it's really wonderful for. Your protective stones are always going to be black obsidian, black tourmaline, black kyanite, and then citrine to a degree. Oh, sorry guys. Whew. Now, you can turn just about anything into a talisman, amulet, charm, whatever you want to call it. You can even turn deity statues. You can turn guardian angel stuff, crosses, pentacles. You can charm literally anything. Okay, a lot of people stick with... Oh, wow. This is killing me over here. A lot of people stick with faith-based iconography or statues or something like that. Some people prefer totem animals, spirit guardians, spirit guides, ancestors, deities. Some people prefer crystals. I prefer crystals. That's kind of my thing. But hell, I've even heard of one person charming a mirror and wearing it to reflect back. That's also where you get the evil eye stuff, and the evil eye is pretty good on its own. You don't need to do any charming with that, really. Now, you can also use sigils, but I will caution you with the sigils. Make sure it's either runes or something that is so entrenched into mass consciousness that it is almost incorruptible. Because with sigils, you don't know where you're channeling it, where you're inspiring it, or if you get it off of Pinterest, TikTok, something like that, you don't know where they got it or what it's doing. And you have to be very careful when you're drawing out the sigil. If you even get one line reversed, wrong, anything like that, it could go to a whole other thing. So, runes are great. When I say symbols that are in mass consciousness, so if you want to bring in money, use the dollar sign or the yen sign or whatever country you're in, use that symbol. Okay? If you want to have luck, do a horseshoe. Let's see. If you want to do protection, you could do a shield or something like that. Just these kind of things, these symbols that are so lodged and have so many minds and are so recognizable that it's really hard to lay anything else out over them. So, okay, runes, mass consciousness symbols, totem animals, dragons, tigers, lions, eagles, things like that. You can wear a fetish or a totem. It's even better if it's made out of a stone like tiger eye, black obsidian, because I will say tiger eye is also really, really protective. It helps ground and it helps with your long vision, but it's also very protective. So tiger eye is a good one too. If you could actually get a tiger carved out of tiger eye, that'd be pretty awesome. Or an eagle. An eagle's fun too. Some people wear snakes as their talisman, and that's okay, but I think if I want a talisman, I want a bigger predatory animal, like stay away from me kind of deal, you know. But I will say I have worn a spider on occasion. Simply because a lot of my guides manifest as spiders, which is amazing because I'm an arachnophobe. But hey, we're working on it. Let's see. The other thing you can do, you can use oils. So really good oils are like frankincense, myrrh, copal, dragon's blood is a good amplifier. You could use sage. Another one, a really good one to basically undo obstacles in your path and open your doors for you. Open doors that would normally be shut to you or that you feel are shut. Get you past blocks in your path and hindrances. It's lemongrass oil. It's very interesting. It works really, really, really well. Hold on. Badoop, badoop, badoop. Becca! Good to see you, hon. I feel very drawn to ravens and have thought a lot of wearing one if I can find it. There are a lot of raven pendants. Yes, you will definitely be able to find it. And if I remember correctly, you're looking into some Norse stuff. Ravens and corvids are big in Norse and Celtic, if I remember correctly. Ravens are generally, let's see, what is it? It's either ravens or crows that are supposed to carry the dead to the lands of the dead, or the souls of the dead to the lands of the dead. So, and then you also have Owen's ravens, huge and immune in thought and memory. So I think they would be absolutely wonderful for you. Hold on. Not a literal raven lol, but an image of one. Yeah, no, I get it. I got it. No worries. Thanks, Becca. Good to see you. Okay. So, and yes, ravens would work as well. It depends on what you feel drawn to and what helps you to feel safe or whatever that talisman is going to be about for you. And actually a raven made out of black obsidian or hawk's eye would be nice. It would be really nice for you, Becca. All right, let's see here. The other thing some people do is, I have not done this personally myself, but what I have done, or what I've seen done is, and heard of, is actually either, it's going to sound a little crazy, but either getting an ancestor's ashes and putting them into something, or something that, the heirloom watch from grandpa, or the pocket watch, or the ring from grandmama, or something, and charming that as a protection, but making it go down through the lines. The only thing you have to worry about, though, is if that ancestor is actually into the magic arts, you've got to make sure they kept it clean and they didn't horse around with anything dark, because that is going to come back through that talisman to you. I actually knew of a lady who, while wearing her grandmother's ring, decided to try out automatic rating and ended up having a very long and nasty fight with a negative entity. So yeah, be careful with your ancestors. Not all of our ancestors are good people. A lot of them are dicks, which, hey, par for the course. We're all human. But on that note also too, I have mulled over, there's a new process. One, you can actually get your ashes when you die poured into a resin crystal or something like that. And I've thought about that. The other thing I've thought about is actually getting my ashes grown into diamonds. It's a spendy procedure, so I definitely have to save up, but at least getting a little bit of my ash put into a diamond, a couple of rings, maybe for Wub and then for any kids he has. That way I can always stick around to protect him. But we'll see. I'm not sold on it yet. It's just mulling over. And besides, it's so spendy. But they're diamonds, so yeah, kind of figured. But it is kind of a cool process. Okay, so spirit guardians would be food dogs, angels, like Archangel Michael for protection is a good one. The Virgin Mary, Jesus, Saint Benedict is great for protection, especially with negative entities and negative energies. Now, some of the deities, Hecate for protection from witchcraft and spirits, Hera, Diana, Frigg, Yamaya, they're all great for protecting home, children especially. When children and women are involved, call these ladies, especially Hera. Diana is another one, and Frigg. Frigg from the Norse pantheon. Whenever you are having problems with a negative entity or anything, call the mother goddesses. If there are kids involved, they'll step in. I was very pleasantly surprised. Stuff that warrior gods will go, no, I do not think so. Not touching this. The mother goddesses, they will whip right in and be like, okay, yeah, y'all need to move the heck out. We're done. Gone. See ya. Bye-bye. So they are really, really cool that way. I have developed an entirely new respect for them. Another one, especially if you want to do justice work, is Kali, but you got to be really careful with her. She's a dark aspected goddess, but rightfully so. Read up on how um, Kali became Kali. So, okay, hold on. Back up. Food dogs are awesome. I have read. Yes. And Hera is a gem in my opinion. Yes, I have to say, after having a child, I like her a lot more. She doesn't tolerate nonsense. No, she does not. Another one, though, is Hecate. She is scary. Oh my God, in a good way, but still very scary. Now Yamaya is another one. I love Yamaya. She's definitely a creationary mother goddess, and wow, a lot of times she's depicted as a mermaid. But she is another one. She's awesome for protection and things like that. But I will tell you, she will give it to you straight. She is not about nonsense. She's very practical, which I definitely resonate with that. I am a Taurus, so practicality and pragmatism are kind of my thing. But Yamaya is just amazing. I remember one time I did speak with her and she's like, you need to clean your house. I'm like, no. I said, no. You don't need to say it. You need to clean your house. You need to throw stuff out. You need to take a broom to everything. You need to scrub things down. I'm like, that's interesting that you say that. She's like, no, you need to do it. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna go have a cup of coffee. You just, yeah, cool. And she's like, it's like, she got more and more and more intense about it until I actually started cleaning. But I love her. She is just awesome. She is like right there and so practical. She's amazing. Definitely, even if you don't work with her, just say hi. Well, maybe she might not like being disturbed, but yeah. All right. You guys, you know what? Feel it out. Now, one on the Egyptian pantheon that I don't really think gets talked enough about is Sekhmet. Now, she is one heck of a warrior goddess. She is a fighter, very bloodthirsty, at least from what I've seen of her. So if you're having problems, call on her. But again, make sure whatever she wants in trade, you can give freely and that you're willing to. It's always a trade. Never think it's not. And there's a lot more spirits, deities, totems. Do your research. The other one, and I'm always a little bit dubious about her, but Santa Muerte. Now, she will help anyone who prays to her, good or bad. But I will tell you, she is, oh, wow, she is quite the lady. Now, she goes by, when you are working with her, the different mantos, the different cloaks, the different colors you see on her, they mean different things. The one I am most familiar with is the black manto, the black cloak, and that will protect against negative spirits and witchcraft and all that other stuff. very protectionary, the black cloaked, the black mantoed Santa Muerte. She is amazing. She is quite the lady, and but make sure of what she wants in return. You know, what she wanted from me was not what she wanted from her friend of mine. Well, she was like, no, I'm going to put her through her paces. I'm like, wow, okay then. No, you didn't ask me for that. I'm glad. Never mind. Never mind, you know. So yeah. Okay. And I believe I already said when I intend something, I take myself back to a very happy, very positive memory, but a very intense one. And that's how I charge it up. Doesn't matter what I'm charging it up for. It has to be that happy energy. Hold on just one second. Becca, I'm not super familiar with Santa Muerte. Can we talk more about dangers and what to be wary of? Well, and that's the thing. You just have to research each aspect of the deity or whatever critter you're working with, and don't look past the light and the dark, or don't overlook the dark for the light. You have to be balanced in your approach, and you have to make sure that is an energy that you can deal with in your life. Now, sometimes the situation is desperate enough to call out to a deity or spirit that has some deeply negative sides, but you just have to make sure whatever it wants out of you, you're willing to give. I remember one deity, and I will not say the deity's name, but it offered protection for my family, for my child, but it wanted a piece of my son's powers, his gifts, his psychic gifts. And I said, no, you can't have that. Which is okay because, you know, I did find deities that I worked much better with. And you guys know I'm not huge on deity work. It's not my first go-to unless things get very, very serious very quickly. Another one I've worked with in the past that I absolutely love, maybe not protectionary, but definitely helped cut down on the spirit population, is Anubis. He is a psychopomp. So what he does is he ferries the dead over to judgment. And I absolutely love working with him. He is really fun. He prefers women that are incredibly strong-willed and very fiery. And he has a special relationship with those kind of women because I know one of my friends, long-ago friends, she had that personality, and he had a very different relationship with her. And that's another thing. Dee will have a different relationship with every single person that comes to them. With her, he had a far more. I'm not going to say it on this episode, but anyway, they got along much differently than he and I do. With him and I, it's a little more business, which I'm fine with. I am totally okay with. You know, he's looking at me going, "Huh, you're stubborn and you make stuff. Neat. Okay, cool. No, Alicia, I can't take that person's soul out of their body. Fine. Good Lord, you know." So no, he's really, really cool, and I love working with him. You know, I have a couple of pictures of him. I'm working on some stuff, some artwork of him to honor him, as well as Hira and Hikate and Yamaya and everything like that. Well, actually, I've already got one piece of Hikate and one of Yamaya, because I really appreciate them. The one I did of Hira, she didn't like. So I'll have to do a different one. Maybe we'll see. Hold on just one second. And as to your question, Becca, with Santa Muerte, the dangers are the same as any other deity. You just have to know what you're dealing with, you know, and know that she's going to respond differently to each and every person that comes to her. But at the same time, always treat them with respect. Always know it is an exchange. Always ask up front. Let's see here. And yes, Hikate told me, or she taught me very quickly, always ask up front, because I asked for her help for a friend of mine and I did not ask up front what she wanted. And then she showed me, and I thought it was going to be really super easy, and it has not been easy. So yeah, always make sure. But she I think she did that more as a lesson plan for me, because, All right, Becca. Ooh, I love that about Anubis. I feel like he might have a good sense of humor as well. Actually, to be honest with you, not too bad of a sense of humor. Always be respectful, but he is harsh but fair. And the other thing is, oddly enough, he does have quite the gentle side to him. I remember my friend, she was going down a really bad path and she had a daughter. And I asked him, I was like, you're her patron deity. How can you let this happen? And he just, and I was a bit bitchier when I said that. And he just, that was my first time talking to deity too. That's so funny. I heard him in my mind, full on voice, and he was very gentle and very patient. And he said, don't worry, her daughter's taken care of. She's always going to be safe. She has to go down this path. There's no way around it. And I'm like, wow, wow, okay. Right, I'm just gonna be quiet now. You got this under control. We're good, But he's actually very, very awesome. And I don't say for everybody to attempt to get involved with him. He's not for everybody, and he will respond differently with everyone. I know another one of my friends, she's not a fan, But I will say for me, I have always enjoyed our interactions because of how he is. He is very, I don't even know how to put it. It's not really all business with him, but he is very fair. He will look into your heart. He will see what's there, and he's fair about it, and that's also how he judges if he's going to work with you. So that's neat. And some deities are more like that than others, but I actually appreciate the fact that he goes that far when he's going to help someone. That's really nice. That's nice to know, at least for me. Anyway, but enough about that. Moving on. Okay, do. And of course, there are other things you can use when you're making talismans and everything like that. Oils, holy water. That was another big one that a kid friend of mine, when he was blessing my stuff originally, he would use Catholic holy water because he is Catholic. And it works like a charm. But pardon the pun. Now you can do correspondences, moon phases, planetary stuff, days of the week, all kinds of stuff like that. But something Antoinette mentioned, she said, and especially for beginners, these are some of her notes. She said, always, 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 when you are doing this, do it in a protective circle, whether it's an actual energy bubble that you're able to visualize around you when you are working, or a ring of salt. If you want to do chalk, you can, but you have to do some protective symbols around you, The other one is, again, emotion equals energy. That's where you're going to get your charge. That's where you're going to get your battery. Okay. Whenever you are intenting, charming, imbuing, programming, go back to a happy and strong memory. Like I said, she did teach me to do that, and things have been a lot better. Whether she's intenting candles, jewelry, holy charms, anything, that's what she does. But she's also a water sign, and she always says, for water signs and earth signs especially, and then fire signs, your emotion is where you're going to get everything. Now for air signs, because a lot of times they're up here kind of contemplating their emotions, which are down here. So, they have sometimes a hard time connecting to them. She said, get a good emotional charge going, get a strong emotional charge going, and then sing your intent into the stone or the ring or the sunglasses, earring, whatever it may be. But that way it gives them a physical medium to do that. And I've known other people to sing their intentions into the different stones. I remember one guy, he came and he got this really long clear quartz wand from me, and he wanted to use it for cord cutting. And he asked me, he's like, would this be good? And I'm like, yes, absolutely. It's a clear quartz as long as you intend it out. And so he could sing. So he would sing, and he had this really deep baritone voice and worked like a charm. Oddly enough, he was also an Aquarius. So yeah. Okay. You can use a sigil on it to charm it up. Um, when you intend, keep it to a singular purpose. Be simple, be direct, no more than 6 words, ever. And only one purpose per item. Now, she did say what she does if she wants to use a candle to charge up a talisman or something like that. She'll put it in a sacred space. So you can use an altar, you can use anything that is sacred to you. And you put it there and you put a candle with the appropriate color. So if it was protection, you should use black. If you wanted positive energy or luck, it would probably be yellow. It depends on your tradition too. So, go with what feels right. Their candle colors are not universal. White, although white is universally your be all end all, your substitute for everything. You're good. So if you don't have any other color, grab a white emergency candle, stick it down, light it up. You can carve stuff on the candle. You can use oil to anoint it. You can do whatever you like, or you can just let it burn with the intention. The other thing she does is she writes out what she wants it to do, like protect me from harm or protect me from metaphysical harm, whatever you want to, or bring luck and abundance to me. You write that down on a piece of paper and set it under the candle while it's burning. And then you just let it burn all the way down. Once it's burned down, with that talisman beside it, you pick it up, you salt the remains, the paper and the candle, and throw it in the trash. And what that'll do, that sets it. Your charm's done. The other thing she told me that was very, 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 very excruciatingly important, and everybody does this, everybody wavers, everybody waffles. You cannot question what you've done. It's done. It's there. You've already got it. You're good. Let it go. Be over it. Okay? Because every time you question, you subtract from the energy of your work. You pull at it. You pull at all the loose threads, and then it's not going to work after that. What you want to do is build it up. You want to charge it with every happy experience you have. You want that charging and booming and everything like that. You don't want to keep questioning it and pulling it away. Hold on just 1 second here. Thank you, Becca, for being patient. Funny you mentioned emergency candles. That's what my intention rites were done with. Nice. See? Absolutely. It's awesome. Tim Kent. Hi, Tim. Glad you're with us. I'm almost at the end of the show. Katie Grenko. Hi, Katie. I'm almost at the end of the show, but thanks for popping on, guys. Love you all. Okay, and Becca, Weezer voice. If you want to destroy my sweater, yes, exactly. And that's what it does. Questioning your own work. Questioning, is this working? When will this work? When will I get it? No, do none of it. Set it and forget it. Let it actually do its work, because the more you pick at it, pretty soon you won't have anything left. And not only will you not have a talisman, you will have broken your faith in this methodology. Hold on. Katie, shit, I'm late. Oh, no worries, hon. You can go back and watch this also on Spotify, Des Moines New Age Radio on Spotify, so you're all good. But, and also remember, guys, Gem Talks is tomorrow night. And then on Thursday night, it's the Psychic Roundtable, and it's going to be the Psychic Fair meet and greet. Our 13-year anniversary Psychic Fair is coming up. We kept it pretty small this time, just so everybody could mill around and enjoy it and feel happy. But I am pretty proud. 13 years. 13 years is awesome. I am amazed. Okay. I think I hit everything. I hope so. If you guys have any questions for me, just leave them in the comments. I will try to answer them as best I can. If not, I'll call Antoinette and ask her. She is a lot better at focusing her emotions, at harnessing them, than I am. I'm a Taurus, so I'm still kind of like, I'd rather just go to work than deal with my emotions. I'd rather have a cup of coffee than deal with my emotions. It's just, but between her and my little baby Pisces, Webster, they're both kind of working on me to get me get me where I need to be emotionally, But with Antoinette, this stuff comes natural to her. As a water sign, it's always going to come natural, or at least more naturally than it would to any other grouping in the zodiac. Fire, I think, would be the next up because they are very in tune with their emotions. And also, too, the reason you don't argue with a fire sign is because they're buried in their beliefs, and you're not going to win that. If they believe the sky is green, you could give them all the evidence, everything else, you're not going to win. So just walk on. You'll be fine. They'll be fine. They'll get it. It's cool. But that kind of absolute faith and belief when you're intenting stuff is awesome. And you can also kind of tell who intends stuff. You can tell by the feel of it. Once you get going in it, this is not right away, but once you get going in it, you can start to feel what kind of energy is in it. Earth signs, actually, we do a really good job with intent work as well. We just have to get ourselves there. Water signs are by far, they have the easiest time with it, I would say. At least from my observation. Hold on. Katie, I have a question. Okay, Katie, fire away. What was the highlight of your day? The highlight of my day. Hanging out with my Webster at a coffee shop after a long day. Just being at peace with him. He's definitely my kid. Coffee shops, craft stores, hobby stores, fabric stores, Yeah. We had a near miss on the road today. Lady flew right through a stop sign on the phone, of course, in a red car. She didn't even see any other cars on the road. She wasn't even looking. If I hadn't done my boop, 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 wow, she didn't care. She would have T-boned us. So after that, we went and we had some coffee. Well, okay, I had a chai tea latte and he had a big thing of cold apple juice. And all was right in the world. But yeah, that was the highlight of my day. The other highlight, though, was actually meeting a budding astrologer. I am always excited for that because you guys know I'm huge on astrology. I love it all. I've studied almost every system out there. The only one that gives me a migraine is Vedic astrology. That stuff just doesn't jive with me. But I like to actually combine East-West astrology. It's a wonderful practice. I don't recommend books on it because I'm just, I'm iffy on all of it. So yeah, you have to take pieces out of each one, which is very tedious and time consuming. Eventually I'll write my own, but not right now, not today. But yeah, no. So those were the two highlights, I would say. But honestly, my highlight is always my kiddo. He's the love of my life, And yeah. So, Katie, thank you for asking. What was the highlight of your day? And Becca and Tim. Guys, what were the highlights of your day? And also, why do you ask, Katie? That's curious. But anyways, so yep. Emotionally speaking, or intent speaking, metaphysically, mystically, magically, energy work wise, emotion equals energy. That's your battery. By the way, also, interestingly enough, if you want to have contact with the other side, have an emotional outburst, and I mean a big one. They'll see you in a heartbeat. All right, my lovelies, I think I covered everything. Okay. I'll give it a couple of seconds, but I want to go get a shower and get a little bit of sleep. Also take my anti-itch medication because poison ivy sucks. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, loves to you all, and remember to check us out. Wait, hold on a second. My grandpa died this morning. Don't go yet. Oh, God. I'm so sorry, sweetie. Whew, that is a rough one, Katie. Sorry, kiddo. Good news is you have another angel looking over you from, up there, but it sucks that he's gone. Hopefully he passed peacefully, without pain. And always remember, when people pass away, they're not gone, they just step into the other side. They can see everything. They can see everything from there. And they know a lot more than they say. Doesn't mean they'll tell you, but they do know a lot more than they say. And yeah, it's just like stepping into another room, at least from what I've observed, what I've had experience with. So don't worry. He's still hanging out, I think. But, I don't know. You would actually have to ask a medium about that. They'll be at the shop this weekend. I think 2 of them, I'm pretty sure. Katie, what is your thoughts on the other side? Like I just said, it's just like stepping into another room. The communication gets a little harder, but yeah, just going back to where you came from. We're only visiting here. We don't get to keep this body or this life forever. It's just a lesson plan, and we go back. We go back to the other side. God knows what happens there. There's been a lot of speculation. I personally think that we kind of just have to review our life and make peace with everything, or at least learn from it. But I also think that some of us hang around and stick around with our loved ones. If I have anything to say about it, you know where I'm going to be. So, Tim Kent, my highlight was spending the day with my favorite person to ever exist. Awesome, Kim. Yay! I'm so glad. Much the same on my end. So. Becca, what was the highlight of your day, hon? Anyway, but Katie, I am so sorry for your loss. My sincere sympathies and healing thoughts. Tim Kent, kind of the same as yours in a way. Lol. Yep. Kind of. Wub is my favorite person. He's kind of my person, just in general, He's my baby. Let's see. But thank you, Tim. All right, my darling dears. Oh, and Katie, I think Angel Ann's going to be able to be on the Psychic Roundtable. Like I said before in the weekly guidance and updates and stuff, she's having some family issues. Her health is better, but she's having some family issues. So she may not be able to join, but I'm pretty sure she'll be up for it. So if you want to message in and ask her, we're probably going to be starting about 8:30 p.m.-ish. You might be able to do that. You might want to do that. Just ask her one question. I don't say get a whole reading, but, ask her a question. If you want a full reading, come to the fair or contact her privately, But she does very well with grief. She's worked with the other side for so long. She has quite a bit of experience with it, and she's able to move people through the emotions with compassion and healing without getting trapped within them herself. So that is a huge skill. There's also the psychic, and he does very well with grief as well, because he's done everything. ESP labs, dimensional dreaming, spoke with the other side. He grew up going to spiritualist churches, and he always said, nothing ever happens when you're in a group. It always happens when you come home alone. When you are alone, then the spirits will come to you. So, alrighty. he has a very unique perspective, but he's been doing this for what? God, 50 years? 50 years or more? Probably more, honestly. So, I don't know. Kitty Grunkle, thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. And you take it easy. Take care, okay? Also, in this time of grieving, do not whip out any Ouija boards, because I guarantee you what you get will not be your grandpa. Ouija boards are just an unfettered doorway that, oof, yeah, no. You want an experienced medium if you want to contact anyone. Please be safe, okay? There are a lot of entities out there that prey on grief and grieving people, which is just another thing of just because they're dead doesn't mean they're not a dick. All right. Love you all. Mwah. Like and subscribe. Ask me any questions you need to in the comments or message the shop's Facebook, and you guys take it easy. Love y'all. Catch you on Thursday night. Well, catch you tomorrow night for Gym Talks, but that's going to be brief. So, loves to y'all.